A whopping 10% rates increase might be slashed in half, but it'll cost you something. Susan Botting, Northland local democracy reporter with us. Susan, good morning.
Morning.
Now, I love this story because, well, I always love your stories, Susan, but this one, so yes, we'll halve your rates, but it's going to cost you. We're going to have more debt, or you've got to cut these services. And already people, I understand, Susan, are complaining about the library closing on a Sunday.
Yes, it's really interesting because, this is an issue that's going to be facing councils around New Zealand, the 76 councils. So what's playing out at the grassroots, when you've got the government talking about rates capping and limits of 2 to 4% increases in the future on the horizon, and the chances of getting more than that only happening if the council goes to a regulatory authority and applies, and only likely to receive money if it's an emergency fund for a civil defence event and that sort of thing. So we've got in Whangārei, the long-term budget sort of said, okay, this coming year we're going to have 10.1% rates increase, but now we're going to go out to the community actually as we speak, asking them, well, what do you think about a 5% increase general, or a 5% increase tweaked so that the residents pay a bit bigger share of the total pool and the businesses pay slightly less? So there's three options. And it's yes, if we do this, it's going to cost us $6 million. So I was just sitting here looking out at the gorgeous CBD of Whangārei with the sun hitting the Western Hills and the buildings looking sparkling, and thinking about councils are things that affect all our lives. And it's interesting because the library is something that was trucking along sort of like slowly in the background before the council meeting recently that decided, yes, we're going to go out to public consultation on halving our rates. And so there's people that want to go to the library on Sunday. This is the central library, the whiz bang, gorgeous library. And one guy said to me yesterday, this is one of the best libraries around. It's not like an average library. So they want their library open on Sunday. And the council's shut the door on Sunday, citing costs. And I did talk to the mayor recently,
Susan,
who said that.
This confuses me, this one, because can't you just get the book out on the Saturday and then read it at home on the Sunday?
I heard this great phrase. In a post-Cyclone Gabriel workshop. And it applies to all our lives. Everybody's big is big. And so everyone has their own lives and their own important things. And to you or to me, that may not be an important thing, but the people that it affects, it is. One lady actually.
Fair, but surely the difference between 5 and 10% rate increase is a big for a big number of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, because this is the rubber hitting the road. What does it look like when you have to cut what you predicted was going to be your increase? And all the councils in New Zealand again are sort of cogitating about this at the moment. So it's going to be interesting in the next couple of months. The Sunday closure was quite interesting because apparently one disabled person came to the library on Sunday. She was talking to some of the opponents of the closures, and she was saying that I come here because it's easier to get around the building, there's fewer people. Another couple of young kids said, we ride our bikes to the library on Sundays because there's less traffic in the streets and it's safer. So it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.